Boom, stop. In episode 66 of Man Up, I talk about how to make new friends when you move to a new city.
Masculinity for the intelligent man. I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this is Man Up!
Hi, I'm David Tian, Ph.D. Welcome to episode 66 of Man Up. I am in Jakarta, hanging out with some friends. Got part of my crew here. So it's cool. I don't have to go and press play. So this is nice. Sometimes it's really nice when I got the crew traveling with me. And we've just been doing a little bit. I borrowed my friends here to do a little bit of shooting that involved me on the floor somehow, and I got like stuff on my legs. So anyway, episode 66, a question from Eric. Eric asks a simple question. It's a long email, but I'm going to pare it down to the end of the email was, how do I, wait, let me just turn it down, music is distracting. How do I make new friends when I move to a new city? So he's moving to a new city, relocating for work. It's his first time doing so. He's been living in the same city his whole life and is now finally accepting this promotion. He's in his late 20s and he's finally moving out of his hometown, and he's never been in a situation where he's had to make new friends. He mentioned in the email that he travels, and when he travels, he generally stays, he's never traveled alone, he stays with his own friends, and he admires when he sees backpackers in backpacker districts making new friends. He doesn't have that skill, and then usually just waits until someone makes friends with him, so he's passive in the process, and he's worried about this. So, because he doesn't know how to actually make things happen. So I've actually created a free course on this. If it's a really great question that is part of a broader topic. So just to give background, in our course Limitless, there is an entire module that's 6 hours of course, of coursework, of like course material. I mean, that walks a guy through how to create a social circle and how to, it's a system actually, it's a step-by-step system on how to create and cultivate a social circle from scratch, and then how to attract the girl that you like in that social circle. So distilling that 6 hours into a free course that's still quite lengthy, but it's free, so putting out free content for you. And then just to figure out what to say here in this Man Up video for Eric on what to do. So basically what you need to do is to be able to make new friends wherever you go. So there's actually a separate course on that. If you go to auratransformation.org, which you should have already if you've watched more than one episode, that's my main website. Go to auratransformation.org, scroll down, you'll see that there's a free video course there on how to make friends. And there's another one on how to talk to anyone, how to make people like you. So just click on any one of those and it'll send you to a series of video courses. So there's a 3-video course, it's free, on how to make new friends. So basically how to meet people and start a friendship with them. Even if it's your first hour in the city. In fact, some of my clients have, I have a client who went to Japan, and with the skills that we taught him in Aura coaching, met a girl he came out of the airport in Narita, got on the train, got off at the subway station. What do they call those? They call those, do you remember what those are called? Like, it's the JR train. So they got off at the JR station, and he didn't know how to get to his hotel from the JR station. Asked a kind, from my experience, all the people you ask in Japan and Tokyo are really kind and go out of their way to help you. So he asked an attractive female how to get to his hotel, and she actually took him by hand and helped him take his luggage to the hotel, escorted him the whole way. And then while he was there, like he was saying, let me thank you, let me take you out for dinner, and she agreed to that. And that led to a full day's date. All right, so you can do it when you land in the city. You don't even need more than like just landing in the city. You can make some new friends. In fact, he didn't just make a new friend, he made a new lover out of that experience. So these are skills that are that versatile. And to give you the full system, take Limitless to get a good solid course in it. There's a free course on that to learn how to just make friends, and not just make friends in a new city and build a social circle in a new city, because that's a separate thing, but to actually just to learn how to make new friends wherever. There's already a free course on that. So I'm just like telling you, there's all this free content I'm putting out, okay? Because this is my life's work, this is my passion, all right? Maybe I'm weird that way, but I like to help people out that way. So you can learn how to make new friends. I got a course on that. how to build your social circle. I got a free course coming out on that. And then of course there's Limitless, which is our flagship online course. But in this video, Eric, let me help you. I'm trying to keep these videos down to 5 minutes. We're already at past 5 minutes, David. All right, so let me keep this short and sweet. When you go to a new city, one of the most important things, because it's a new city, and I'm assuming if it's a new city, you're either looking for a hotel or you're looking for an apartment. So if you're just traveling, you're looking for a hotel. If you're going to settle there, you're looking for an apartment. Here's a tip. Here's a killer tip. It's far more important where you are than how big the place is. So for instance, if your workplace is far out of town, it's in a suburb, and there are, because it's a suburb, there are going to be apartments and homes there that are much bigger for the same price than you would get if you were in the center of the city, the center of the activity, right where the bars and clubs or the cafes, the shopping malls, wherever that is, wherever the center of activity is. It's going to be a lot more expensive, the real estate in the center of the city. Get a smaller place. Okay, there are many reasons for this. Get a smaller place in the center of the city. Location, location, location. Ask any real estate agent, it's all about location. If you choose the wrong location, you're going to have a shitty social life. End of story. And this is for the guys who are going to a new city, you can do this. It's far more important than any other factor, the logistics. Of course, you have to have the social skills to capitalize on it. But if you're really far out of town, for you to build a great social life around yourself, it's going to be really difficult. So location is everything. If you live currently out of town and you want to take advantage of this, look for when your lease is up, or see if there's a clause you can break your lease early. Move into the center of town. It's better to be living in a studio apartment, like a one-room apartment in the center of town, than it is to have a 3-bedroom apartment way like a 45 minutes out of town, and you got to commute in every time. Take the smaller space. And here's why. When you are meeting friends, one of the biggest factors of whether they're going to go to your place or whether they're invite you out or whether they're going to drop by and see you on a regular basis, because to really solidify yourself in a social circle, you have to be seen. It's the mere exposure effect that has been very well documented in social psychology and in marketing and advertising and in business. Mere exposure is really important. If they keep seeing you at the events, at the parties, at the bars or the clubs or the cafes or the gym or the yoga studio or wherever it is, or the salsa classes, wherever it is that you go along your own interests, right, wherever you go to meet people, if they keep seeing you, you don't even need to have an introduction. You don't even really need to have to start a conversation. It'll be really easy, like, oh, hey, you're back. Right? Something as simple as that, and probably they will approach you. They're going to start smiling at you, making eye contact with you, giving you lots of warm invitations to approach them. It's really easy. But you have to show up. You got to show up. You got to show up. And in order to show up, it's got to be close and convenient. If you're really far, it's going to be hard. You're just not going to go. It's like going to the gym. It's a New Year's time resolution, January, right? Lots of people going to the gym. Here's a clue. Here's a tip. I mean, if you really want to stick with your resolution, get a gym that's right next to where you live. If it's far and it's an awesome gym, but it's really far from where you are, if you have to drive more than 10 minutes, you're not going to go. That's just the plain truth. You're going to go for January, February, you're not going to go after that. You know, the chances are 97% of the chance that you will not go after February. I just pulled that number out of the hat, but I did read it somewhere. That 90%, almost 90% of people who have gym memberships don't go more than 2 months a year. So don't let that be you. One of the biggest reasons is because it's too far. So go close. Go in the center of town. This is what I call the X theory, and there's a whole part. You'll learn about this in the step-by-step system on building your social circle. But it's really important that you know where the X is. The X marks the spot. The X is your location, and all of this, you're creating a hub of social activity around your X. That's how you get a great social life. You got to be in a great part of town. Here's something from a psychology perspective for the guys who are still tempted to get a place far away, but that's just bigger. You should know that when you have a big space, you will be tempted. This is just human psychology, and it's been proven. You will be tempted to fill up that space. I don't fucking care how big your apartment is. You're going to fill it with shit you don't need. That's just the way we are. You'll buy some extra stuff and you'll end up accumulating all this extra stuff, and maybe once a year you'll do a spring cleaning where you might clean it out, but if you're like most guys, you will never clean it out until you move. Okay? And you'll pile up all these, here's an easy one, magazines. Guys buy tons of magazines, they read once and they just pile them up. Clothes that you never wear that just collect dust. When you're in a smaller place and space is a premium for you, you won't be accumulating shit you don't need, which is great. Okay, you'll have a lot more disposable income and you'll have a peace of mind, and it actually has a real psychological effect on your freedom, your social freedom. So go minimalist, get less stuff, get a better experiences. Live as close to the center of activity in town as you can. That's one tip that I can give you when you're starting out new. I'll give you an example from my life. When I first moved to Singapore, National University of Singapore, where I was a professor at NUS, was located 20 to 30 to 40 minutes, depending on traffic, from the center of town. Right? It's way out, it's out in the suburbs. Clementi, I think, Clementi. Now, they encouraged us to find housing nearby, and so for the housing allowance they gave me as an expat, I could have afforded a 3-bedroom apartment in the same area as the university. However, that area was all families. There was IKEA there. It wasn't like a single man's like playground, really. But in the center of town, it was a single man's playground. I chose to live in a 1-bedroom studio apartment, basically with walls that collapsed. A much smaller, I think it would have been a half or almost a third of the size of the apartment I could have gotten in Clementi for the same price. But I went for a third of the size to be in the center of town, to be in the middle of the activity. That was a great decision. That really, really paid off. In fact, it was such an awesome place that it was a brand new condo. Girls actually asked me if they could come and see my place. So that was awesome. So pick location. Location when you're going to a new city and you want a great social life. Of course, you need the skills on how to talk to people, and those are going to be true no matter whether you're in a new city or you're in an old city. You still need those skills. So I've already created a couple of free courses on that, and I've created a new free course that's coming out soon on how to build that social circle even if you move to a new city. Okay, so look out for that. You'll be seeing that. Go to auratransformation.org to find all those free video courses. And in the meantime, you must join the private Facebook group for Man Up. Click the link, join the private Facebook group. I will see you inside there. Till next time, Man Up.